If you have a question for Coach, with that said, no one's done it yet, so someone can start us off with the first question. Go for it, Mike.
Thanks, Preston. Coach, let's just kind of get it out of the way. The reports are that Christian is doubtful for this week. Is he still day-to-day, or is he looking more and more likely not?
Yeah, it looks like – that sounds weird. Sorry. It looks like Christian probably won't play. So we'll we'll see. It's not. I wouldn't say that that's 100%, but I would say that it looks like he's pretty much out for this week, and we'll see how it is next week.
Let's go to David Newton.
Hey, Matt, how does Jeremy reacted to what you guys have done as far as treatment to his knee? Looked like he was doing better this week than he was last week.
Yeah, he practiced. He was a full participant in practice other than the reps. We limited the reps. I'm sorry, there's an audio thing here. It's glitching, so forgive me. But so we limited his reps, but he was full speed while he was out there. So I expect him to be again, we have to see how he responds tomorrow. But if he played today, I would expect him to go play.
Let's go to Joe Person and then Scott Fowler.
Hey, Matt, we were told or heard that Christian was getting a second opinion. Any concern that this could be a season-ending situation?
I'm not anticipating that. I'm anticipating it from what I know being much more sort of day-to-day, week by week than that. But those are doctors, and they have to do what's right, what's right for him, and Christian has to make the best decision for him. So I have not entertained that thought till you said it.
Matt, two things. One real quick. Can you tell us any more about what exactly is wrong with Christian's shoulder?
I don't even know that I could begin to go into it. I think it's just an AC, AC joint issue in his shoulder. So it's I guess just a separation of the. I'm sorry, guys. The volume here, the audio is terrible. Give me 1 second. Is that good? Can they hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. Sorry. Just a AC issue. Much more beyond that. I would probably leave up to him to talk about.
Let's go to Elena.
Sorry.
I think he had a second part of that question I didn't get to. I'm sorry because of the audio.
Oh, no problem. I just wanted to ask you that the first Tampa Bay game seems a long time ago now. As you think back to that game, that was one of the few you guys didn't finish in a one possession way. What are your main memories of that game? What went wrong?
Yeah, we had 4 turnovers. I think we had 9 penalties, 9 negative plays on offense, and we had we gave up 5 sacks and 23 pressures. So I went through those numbers today. Like, we did not control the line of scrimmage. And that was the first drive. We were driving the ball. We turned the ball over. They scored. We went down. We turned the ball over deep in our own territory. They scored the next play. Went in at halftime down 21-0 and then crawled back. I mean, fought back, got it to 21-14. They scored. We scored them again to make it 24-17. So it was a one-possession game. And then, we onside kicked it instead of kicking it deep, and they scored. And then, how exactly, and then it finished 31-17. They popped that long one at the end. But so, there were a lot of things that we didn't do well, especially up front, protecting the quarterback and running the football. Coach Bowles' defense did a nice job that day. Brady had like 200 yards passing in the first half. I think we were better in the second half. But the main thing was that, we beat ourselves with turnovers and bad plays. And I think that game was a sort of an early turning point for us. We came back, and I think since then the guys have played much more cohesive, team-oriented football since then.
All right. Sorry for cutting you off there, Scott. Let's go to Elena Gutsenberg and then Skylar Callahan.
Matt, a couple questions for you. First, I guess just getting Reggie back and now on the active roster, what is your expectation with not having Christian Sunday for what his role could be?
I think that'll come throughout the course of the week in the game planning. Reggie's a good back. We were really excited about what he was doing before he got hurt. It's his first day back out there. My first time seeing him. I just walked off the field. I haven't seen the tape yet, so we'll have to see, how he looked, how he responds tomorrow, and then determine what role best fits him.
And then I know today was Justin's first day back out there, but is your expectation that he may be available Sunday, or is it kind of like you to see how the week goes?
I think his is a little different just because it's a rib, So, some of those ankle foot ones, you have to kind of see, do they swell up, not. I think his has just been, once it's healed, and he could handle the pain. He was out there today. He wanted to make contact. He wanted to be physical. So I would anticipate him being available unless, something changes dramatically.
And then one last one for you, sorry. I guess if Russell, now that he missed practice today, I know it's early in the week, but were you happy with how Dennis Daly played Sunday? Or would your expectation be that he'd be the next guy up again if Russell can play?
I thought Dennis played really well. He had the ankle sprain, so I was not sure how much he'd do today. He went out there, he practiced the whole practice, so it'll just depend on his health, and how he feels as the week goes on.
Hey, Matt, with AG now out, is Jermaine Carter a guy that you see that can maybe play both Sam and the Mike? And how did you feel like he played last week when he got a little bit more snaps under his belt?
Yeah, I thought Jermaine was a real bright spot last week. Played great as usual on special teams. Played well, as the nickel Mike and as the Will and Sam and all the different things we asked him to do. And I thought played well. So, now we're getting Chin back. That adds to the arsenal of guys. We lost AG, who's a tremendous special teams player for us and plays really well at linebacker. I think Jermaine's role will continue to ascend as he continues to play well.
All right, next question will go to Bill Voth, followed by Josh Klein.
Hey, Matt, you've been pretty open this year when you've seen things that you've wanted to improve and then practice on, like third down defense, red zone offense. Do you look at third quarter offense now as something like that? And if so, how can you improve on something like that in practice?
It's a great question. It's been something that keeps, if you get a text from me at like 2:30 in the morning, it's because I'm up thinking about that, how to improve it. We went 2 minute 2 weeks ago. We went no huddle. Last week, we tried a couple different things. I just think really at the end of the day, we just have to kind of go out and execute. I think sometimes you start spending so much time thinking of things and trying new things, and it's just like, we just got to go back and settle down and do what we do and just try to do it better. And so I'm hopeful this week that, we come out in the third quarter and we look way more composed. We move the ball. Really, it's come down to some penalties on some drives that really hurt us. So I don't know if there's anything specifically in practice we can do that we haven't already tried. We've tried having a little halftime and going back out there. I just think it's one of those things where, everyone's just going to go out and have to do their job with tremendous focus and effort. And that will hopefully lead to, more results.
Matt, I know when Derek Brown was drafted, you guys talked about how he was a complete player, not just a run stuffer, as kind of a lot of people talked about. How have you seen his pass rushing get better over the course of the season? And do you think he's improved as a run defender as well?
I think he's improved in all areas, especially for a rookie that's playing as many snaps as he has inside. Excuse me, he hasn't hit the proverbial, rookie wall yet. He's done a good job of fighting through it. I think he's used his hands better. Hasn't been perfect all the time. I thought he came out of the Atlanta game and was way more resolute this week to use his hands. He's pass rushed with more violence, more effort. Not that there wasn't effort before, but more movement. I think he's improving as a pass rusher. I think one of the things is, we have to get people into a few more, long yardage situations and hopefully behind at some point so that he's, some of those guys are able to really tee off as opposed to, rush and have them, get their hands up because the ball's out quickly. But I think he's improving. I think he's going to be an outstanding player here for a long time.
Let's go to Jonathan Alexander and then Phil Orban.
Hey, Matt. I want to ask you about another one of your players, Bravion Roy. He's playing a little bit more, not playing a lot, but playing a little bit more, probably because of Zach Kerr's injury. What do you think about the way he's looked recently?
Just about the way he's looked. I thought he played well last game. We were in a lot of nickel and dime groupings because of their offense. So, but when he was out there, the first drive, he snapped off a double team, made a nice tackle for loss. I think for another rookie, I think he's doing some good things, for his role. And, Zach's a guy that as he gets healthier, he provides us something as well. We've really been playing with 3D tackles and have an FA swing inside in the nickel. But Bravion's played with good effort. I think all of our guys came out of the Atlanta game up front, knowing that we probably didn't play well enough up front as a front seven. So I thought this week there was way more focus on being in our gaps, doing our jobs, and playing hard, and I thought you saw it this week.
Hey, Matt, to what extent is running back an instinctive position? And does Curtis's background as a running back in college let you do more things with him or treat him differently than kind of just as a wide receiver playing running back?
Yeah, I mean, we play him at running back because he's a gifted running back. He's got tremendous vision. The concept of instincts to me, I think a lot of it is, just experience and visual, the ability to see a lot. And Curtis sees a lot. He sees holes before they open. He has a great feel for, when to press it, when to bounce it. And is a natural sort of tailback, adding to the fact that things he can do down the field, and you have a pretty complete player. And he's so versatile that he allows you to be creative with the ways that you use him.
Let's go to David Newton and then Jim Person.
Hey, man, I know we've asked in past about DJ Moore a little bit, but it just seems like the last couple of weeks he's almost disappeared from the offense. Is there any one reason you can pinpoint from that? And do you need to make an effort to get him more involved?
I'd like to see him catch more balls. I don't know that we we have so many weapons. I don't think we go out any one week and say, hey, let's get this guy the ball, let's get that guy the ball, anyone more than the other. So I just think it's, sometimes things swing that way. Sometimes the defense is working to take somebody away, but DJ's working hard and he's working hard to get open. So I'd love to see him catch more balls. And so I think we have to, try to make sure that we're doing a good job. But at the end of the day, the passing game is one that, it's not like the run game where you just hand it to somebody, the ball's, progressing through, him to him. And sometimes it just goes that way for a little stretch. So I have no doubt that DJ will break out here soon and have a bunch of targets his way. I think he's doing a good job fighting through it.
Is separation a problem at all with him just not getting enough separation? Other team using the top back or defensive back on him or anything like that?
No. I think he's like I said, he's doing a good job. The ball hasn't gone his way. Like I told you, from last game, Joe called a go ball to him. He said alert the go ball to DJ. It looked like we had it, and all of a sudden they ran to cover two on the snap. Teddy had to progress off of it. So I just think it's just one of those things that's happened. Now if it happens again this week, then there might be more to it. But I think we all know that the player that we have in DJ, and I think last week, I think one of the first 2 or 3 throws, the ball went to him. The week before against Atlanta, the first play of the game went to him. So we recognize what he can do and want to get him involved.
Hey, Matt, is Christian's injury at all similar to Kirkwood's? And then just wondered if there's any more you can say on Ian's status.
I'm not going to get into Christian's injury. I'll let him talk about that. That's just out of the respect question, out of respect for him and the things he said, he's wanted to kind of handle that. It is a shoulder, it's his AC. I think Kirkwood's is what, clavicle? Yeah, clavicle. So, and then with regard to the second part of the question was what, Joe? I'm sorry.
Ian Thomas's status.
Yeah, he had a family issue that he went home for today and tomorrow.
All right, let's go to Josh Klein and then Elena Getzenberg.
Matt, the last time that Christian got hurt, he came in front of the media and talked about how He, didn't want the team to kind of pack it in, or he wanted to make sure that they had the right attitude while he was gone. And you talked about, getting a better team when he returned. Do you feel like this is the same type of situation, or is this just less of a big deal than the earlier injury?
I think anytime a guy's hurt, it's a big deal, no matter what their impact and role in the team is. I think for us, we've battled a lot of different injuries coming out of games this year, and we've just kind of, every time it's happened, we've just moved forward, try to take care of the guy who's hurt, and move forward with the other guys. And whether it was KK going down, or Russell's gone down, or Christian's gone down, or Justin Burris went down, and just as those guys have gone down, the other guys have stepped up. Yetor's gone down. Johnny Miller, Curtis Samuel was down for a game. I mean, we've had a lot of guys go down for, time. And I think the mentality that we're trying to build is that, we move forward. It's what's next. Doesn't mean we don't love the guy that's hurt. Just means that, the next guy steps up, it's his opportunity, and we move forward. So I think that's the approach the team takes. We all have a ton of faith in Mike, Reggie, and Trenton, and we're going to go play.
And I just had one quick follow-up. When guys do go down, like Justin Burris went down, Sam Franklin comes in for, I think it was 2-3 games, plays basically all the reps. And now I assume if Justin stays healthy, Sam would go back to his role as a backup. Are these, for young players, like just these little tastes of playing time, how does that affect them and help them throughout, their future and the rest of their career?
Yeah. I think for me, we have young players, but I don't dwell on what people have done in the past. I dwell on what they're doing right now. And so to me, I look at the practice tape every day. I look at the games and I see, who's playing well, who's doing what, so while Sam might be young, I see him get a sack. I see him make a tackle for loss on a screen. I see him doing good things. Then I also see him doing things that aren't good, and so we're just trying to coach him. To your point, like when they have an opportunity to play and all of a sudden they have a chance to step up, I think it's less for us and more for them. A lot of times we know, hey, this guy's going to be a good player. Hey, Dennis Daly's going to be a heck of a left tackle. Sometimes the player might not know that because they haven't gotten out there. Once they finally get in there and they finally play, they recognize it. And then, what you end up having is you have a team with more and more and more experience. You have a chance to see what guys do when they get out there. I think about like Stanley Thomas Oliver hadn't really played, had been inactive, was going to play on the special teams against Atlanta, and like all of a sudden, whatever it is, play 5, he's out there, defending Julio Jones. And that week in practice, I said, "What'd you learn?" He said, that basically that it's a big deal, but I can do it. And I said, "Yeah, you can do it. And you're going to play a long time." So, I think for the young players, it's not the fact that they're young; it's just the fact that they don't know that they can do it yet. And so, whether they've been playing here for 20 years or they're 2 days, to me, it's all based upon not just production, but how hard they play. Do they do their job? Are they making the plays that are supposed to come to them? Are they playing it our way? And if they do that, they're usually pretty successful. So I think a lot of our young players this year have stepped up and played successful football for us to a degree.
Matt, I was wondering, you guys have only forced 2 punts in the last 3 games. I was curious, do you attribute that to not being able to get off the field on 3rd down, or, giving up first downs on 1st and 2nd, or what do you attribute that to, and how do you go about fixing that?
We're not getting off the field on 3rd down nearly enough. The one thing we are doing is we're winning 3rd downs in the red zone and holding people to field goals at times. And so we're getting off the field. We've had a couple in the red zone, 4th down stops, which doesn't obviously require a punt, but we have to win more. We have to win more 3rd downs. And that's as you said, that could be 1st downs on 1st and 2nd down. That could be big play, all those different things. What we're doing well is we're not giving up huge explosive plays and getting way behind. We're keeping things in front of us. We're making people drive the field. We'll get a stop and keep, get ourselves off the field or hold them to a field goal. For us to move forward and to continue to grow on defense, we have to win on 3rd down, and we have to force some turnovers. And we haven't forced enough turnovers. We got one last week at the last play of the first half, so it's not really even a turnover; it's just the end of the game. So those would be the 2 things on defense that I think if you want to take the next step, you have to do those two things.
Hey guys, we have time for one more, so let's go to Chris Jenkins before we let Coach go.
Hey, Coach, it's actually a two-part question. First is about the play calling. Can you say how much of it is the aggressive play calling, that is? Can you say how much it is that goes into the flow of the game versus relying on some statistics from guys or from other people?
In terms, are you talking about in terms of like going for it on fourth down or stuff like that, or
Yeah, the fourth down, the fake punt, and things like the onside kicks. How much of that goes into statistics versus just the feel of the game for you?
I think it's all. I mean, I think it's all the feel of the game. I mean, the statistics can say go for it, but if you don't think you can get it, then it's a wasted play, right? And they might say, "Hey, don't go for it," and you might say, "No, I have a great play." So, like that 4th and 4, I said to Joe, I said, "What do what do you got?" He's like, "I got it. I said, "Great, let's go, let's do it." So, the onside kick, we didn't get it, but we thought we had it. The punch fake, we thought we had. The week before against Atlanta, we thought we had 4th and 1 and 4th and 2. So I think there's some base parameters like, hey, 4th and 2, 4th and 1 in this area, we're going to go for it most of the time. 4th and 3, 4th and, down inside the red zone, where if we miss it, it gives them a long field, depending on how we're playing. And then sometimes it's just the game, right? 4th and 14 that we went for, that Teddy made that amazing play. You sit there and say, a lot of teams will probably punt that ball, but as I told our guys, we're here to win. So I mean, that was our last chance to win the game. We did it, and it almost worked out. So I think there's some statistical, analytical things that help, but you have to feel really good about the plays you're going to run in those situations before you do it.
The second part of it is the NFL is considering changing the rules on fourth down because so many teams are converting on that, and there's talks about letting teams start from their own 25. From their own 25. In lieu of an onside kick. Do you have any thoughts about that possible rule change that the NFL's been talking about?
I've never heard that, so I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know what to say about it, to be quite honest with you. I mean, as a fan, not as a coach, but as a fan, I think anything that brings more excitement to the game, I'm always going to be interested in. But I just haven't heard that, so I don't know specifically how I feel or anything like that. But I was like, I like exciting games.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we got to let them go. Coach, we appreciate it.
Thanks.
If you have questions for him, Jeremy, can you hear us on your end?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, perfect. All right, guys, if someone wants to open up for the first question, the floor is open.
Hey, Jeremy, it's Joe Person. Good to see you, man.
See you too, Joe. How you doing?
I'm good. I appreciate you. Just kind of was hoping you could walk us through what was bothering you last week. I know you worked out before the game, and how hard was that to be on the sideline last week?
Yeah, I had some knee swelling. It just kind of built up. But it's obviously always hard to watch from the sideline. So that was difficult. But I'm working this week to just get back out there.
Let's go to Josh Klein and then Sharon Thorsland.
Jeremy, obviously you guys have played the Bucks before in week 2. How do you feel any different now, 9 weeks into your career than you did when it was week 2, heading to Tampa to play Tom Brady?
Yeah, I feel a lot different. I played 9 games now, or 8 games now, opposed to just the one I played before. So, I've definitely learned a whole lot these past 8 weeks.
They always use the term the game slowing down. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I feel the game has definitely slowed down. Yeah.
Hey, Jeremy, I know that last week's game against the Saints, the Bucks didn't exactly impress on offense, but what does the addition of Antonio Brown bring to that offense?
Just more versatility, more weapons, more targets for Tom Brady to go to.
Let's go to Elena Getzenberg and then Steve Reed.
Hey, Jeremy, I was curious, Matt had said that your knee injury might have been something that you had in college and all that. Can you take us through, was that something that you had in college? And then did that make it a little scarier to see swelling in your knee?
No, it wasn't, anything necessarily scary to me, really. Just something, swelled up. I knew once the swelling went down, that was going to be fine. So it just took a little bit longer than what I expected it.
Yeah, Jeremy, just to follow up on Elena, was that something that happened in college? Is this like a reoccurring something that you had in college? And secondly, a lot of people are talking about you being possibly, defensive rookie of the year. I just wonder if you could talk about your season, what you feel like you've done really well, and your chances of possibly winning that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't think it's anything that's reoccurring or anything like that. It just had some swelling that came from Thursday night. So, but the swelling has gone down. I've been moving really well. So, and then as far as the defensive rookie of the year stuff, there's a lot more to, improve on and get better on. So there's a long season, ahead of us still. So, I'm not satisfied with anything that I've already done.
All right, let's go to David Newton, followed by Phil Orban.
Hey, Jeremy, what was it like watching the game last Sunday and seeing how it took multiple players to replace all you do?
It's tough. It's tough watching from the sideline. I mean, that's the easiest way to put it. It's tough just to watch. When you feel like you maybe can make a difference, but yeah, I mean, it's tough just to watch and not be able to impact the game.
Jeremy, to that point, though, we've heard guys say that they're able to maybe see the game with a different set of eyes from the sidelines if they're not in the game. Half a season in, were you able to take anything out of that game, being able to watch it kind of differently?
Yeah, for sure. You really see more of the tendencies and things like that when you're on the sideline and not actually on the field. So it definitely gave me a different perspective, not just, the football being on the field and tendencies wise, but also, being able to play and not being able to play, makes you just appreciate it so much more.
All right, guys, we have time for 2 more. So let's go to Chris Jenkins and then finish with Jason Brown.
Jeremy, kind of building off earlier, talking about you're now halfway through your rookie season. What improvements are you most proud of so far with yourself this season? And then also in the same hand, could you talk about what you're going to focus on most for the second half of the season?
Yeah, I would say my biggest improvement is just my first step. If you look at earlier games, I'm kind of, moving around, just running around, kind of doing anything with my hair on fire. And, I still take pride in playing that way, but just more effectively now and more efficient So I think that's my biggest step, and continue to build upon that moving forward.
Hey, Jeremy, thanks for your time today. Jason Brown with Spectrum News One. Obviously, you and a lot of your fellow rookies in college don't have the opportunity to play a team twice in a season. So I'm curious as to how much, I guess, from a preparation standpoint, what is different this time around? Because you played this team once already, and so it's a different experience, I'm sure, than what you guys had collegiately.
Yeah, I mean, we only played one team, one time in college. So now it's definitely different. I think when you play a team, two times, it's kind of like a revenge almost, or so you really actually get to know the people that you're playing against, kind of what they like to do and things like that. So it's definitely different now that you play a team twice compared to back to college.
All right, guys, that's gonna do it. Jeremy, we appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you, Preston.
and raise hand button if you have a question for him. With that said, no one's done it yet, so if someone wants to start us off the first question, the floor is open.
Hey, Derek. It's Josh Klein. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Fantastic. I know that you have a charity event coming up. What is it about giving back to your community that you like so much, and what does this specific event mean to you?
I think just growing up, my parents always, I was always around people that gave, no matter how little or how much you had. I mean, I was always around those who were willing to give their last leg for others. So, I mean, I think that's kind of just why I try to do so much now. Being involved in the community is a big thing for me because, I mean, that's something that, reaches the kids that didn't have that opportunity. And man, my biggest thing is, trying to reach out to kids. I did an event today. Wasn't able to make it, of course, but my team was able to put it on and we were able to get everything squared away. So that happened today. Well, still going on today from 2 to 5. And it was with the veterans, all veterans, Charlotte or wherever in North Carolina, just come and give out gift bags of just different things and, sit down and be able to feed them and, just be able to do all these different things for them. That's something that touches home to me because my dad was a vet that was airborne in the Army. So, just growing up and having that influence, I noticed a lot of other kids out there, and I noticed a lot of men and women that sacrifice their lives to go overseas and be able to fight and, be able to keep us safe here at home. So, I mean, I try to do everything I can in that aspect to put this event on today. And along with the foundation I partnered with and Tyrone and his foundation, it was a big thing for me to just get this off the ground today.
Let's go to Steve Reed and then Mike Solarte.
Thanks, Derek. It's great stuff. Also, I wonder if I could ask you a football question. You guys are playing the Bucs this week, coming off maybe perhaps one of Tom Brady's worst games ever. Any scare to that? Meaning that he's probably going to be, plenty motivated, I guess, this week.
Yeah, I mean, we lost 4 games now. So, I mean, if you don't think we're plenty motivated, then, I mean, something's wrong with that. So, I mean, you'd be pissed off all you want. But at the end of the day, you got 2 pissed off teams coming in ready to battle each other.
Hey, Derek. Mike Solarte with Spectrum News 1. When you look back at the first time you played these guys and you look now ahead to the rematch, as a rookie, I guess in your position, it's maybe even harder to tell, but is the game perhaps slowing down for you? We asked Jeremy about that, and he feels it is slowing down for him a little bit. But as a defensive lineman, did you notice that it slows down, or do you have to are you finding yourself picking things up a little bit more? I mean, where do you see your development so far?
I mean, it's part of the game. I mean, just like when you go from high school to college, it's a big jump in the game. So when you go to the world's best football players playing in the league, I mean, you got to be able to process everything. Like we came in the season when you get to have preseason, so we were out there with all pro guys immediately. So I mean, it was one of those things where, you looking across the field and you're like, wow, like, that's Tom Brady back there the first game. But then, now it's like, okay, well, now we know what we got to do. So I mean, just take it when you go back and watch the first game, take all the negatives that happened from the first game, and you try to implement them not to happen in this game.
Let's go to Jonathan Alexander and then Sharon Thorsland.
Hey, Derek. Hope all is well, man. I'm wondering, from what you knew about that first game, what was something that the Bucs did well that you think you all really, or that you all are focusing on to making sure you all improve on this game up here, right here?
I mean, I just think they moved the ball on us, through a lot of different ways. So I mean, I thought when we sat down and Coach Snow got the week started on Monday, and we just sat down and we talked about our keys. So I mean, that's what we know our keys that we gotta be able to handle and be able to stop, and we gotta do certain things to get better on defense. We gotta do those things and implement them into this game.
Derek, when you look at Tom Brady, I know he had an off game by his standards for sure last week, but is he still Tom Brady? And if so, what makes him so good?
Man, just his ability to be able to get the ball out of his hand. He's a guy that's done this for a long time. I grew up watching Tom Brady, so I mean, he's been in the league way longer than I have. So it's one of those things where you just gotta get over the shock factor that it's Tom Brady, and you gotta be able to do your job.
Let's go to David Newton and then Josh Klein.
Hey, Derek, good to see you today. I wanted to ask, you guys really seemed to shut down Brady in the second half of that second game. What was the difference? What did y'all learn in the first half about yourself or about what the Bucs were doing that enabled you to do that?
We just got to do our job. Thinking too much, and just we got to be able to sit. We got to be able to do our job and just focus on what we got to do.
Derek, I know when you came into the league, I think on draft night, you said something about, people view you as a run stuffer, but you don't view yourself that way. What have maybe people missed about your pass rushing over the first 9 games of the season?
It's something I've had to learn. I've had to, take that extra time and, actually, be able to break down film and be able to break down film, not just, the run part of it, but also, be able to determine the pass, the pass blocking. It's just a bunch of different things that go into that. Nobody can sit here and say, nobody's on that Aaron Donald level the first year they come into the league. So, it's one of those things that, I hope to, progress in. And I feel like I'm starting to progress a little bit.
All right, let's go to Joe Person before we wrap it up.
Derek, in that Bucs game Monday night, of course, they fell into an early hole. It allowed the Saints to kind of go after Brady, completely opposite of your first game against them, where the Bucs jumped up early. How big would that be if you guys can get an early lead and maybe kind of go after Brady?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even want to think that way. It's one of those things that there's a lot of things that happen in that game that just watching the film. It shows for itself, and I don't want to think that way because it's a lot different than they may seem that way.
How nice would it be for you personally to kind of make that first sack come against Tom Brady?
It'd be nice. We're gonna try. We'll see what happens.
All right, actually, the last one. Elena, you can ask your question.
I'm sorry, Derek. I just had one quick one for you. I was wondering, I remember the first 2 games of the year you had told us you hadn't really felt like you were playing like yourself yet. When you go back now and watch like that Bucs game, and you know how you're playing right now, like how much do you think you've grown like when you're watching that game back?
I've grown, but I don't think I'm there yet, to be honest. I watch a lot of tape and things, and I got a lot of flaws on things that should be simplistic and were simplistic. And when you take 9 months off of football, 8, 9 months off of football, and actually hitting things, and then hitting people or hitting sleds, then it's hard to be able to just make those adjustments again in a few weeks. So, things I'm still trying to improve on and just get my game back to where it was.
All right, Derek, we appreciate you stopping by.
Appreciate that, Preston.
for him. With that said, if someone wants to speak up and start us off, the floor is open.
Hey, John, just looking back at the tape of week 2, what did you see from the Bucs interior defensive line, and how do you think that you can do better this time?
This time around, looking at game 2, looking back at the first game that we had, it was a couple things that they hit us with, a couple line stunts, couple 3-man switches, couple picks and things like that. So got to be ready for that.
Hey, John, it's Joe Person. Good to see you, man. Quick question for you. We usually ask this of the skill position guys, but wonder kind of what your thoughts are on the Joe Brady offense and his schemes and kind of the success he's been able to have in his first season in the NFL.
Man, playing in the offense like this is exciting. Different formations, motions, shifts, and things of that nature, presenting a different look for the defense. And it's a very multiple offense, excuse me. We line up in different formations, do different things, dress it up, make it look different. So it's been pretty exciting, man, and been able to put some points on the board. And unfortunately, we just haven't been able to put up enough.
How did things change in those weeks that you guys did not have Christian and Joe was still, obviously, you guys were still rolling pretty well?
Not having Tutu out there, man, is definitely, you want him out there because, obviously he's a great running back, but we had other guys step up. Mike D stepped up, Reggie Bonifant stepped up before he got hurt. It's the next man up mentality. But of course we would like to have Tutu out there, but like I said, it's next man up, and we just have to rally together.
Let's go to Solarte and then Josh Klein.
Thanks, Preston. Mike Solarte with Spectrum News 1. On Monday, Coach Rhule said that he wants you guys to be maybe, I guess, a little bit mad with, and he said he wanted to impart that message to you, the players and the coaches and that sort of thing. Is that message received? How are you guys feeling? Losses don't make anybody happy, obviously, but has that kind of sparked maybe a little more gas on the fire there?
Oh, yeah. At the end of the day, the goal is to win games. And obviously when you don't do that, everybody had to accept their responsibility in that, and we just hold each other accountable. And at the end of the day, everybody come out there to work on the practice field because that's where it starts. So everybody had that mindset, man. We just come out here each and every day for practice, get better, keep stacking days, put one foot in front of the other, and just go out there when it's game day, man. Just cut it loose, let it loose. Go out there and play free and play together. It's power in that.
John, Coach Rhule has said a couple times throughout the course of the season, learning how to play in Pat Meyer's style of the offensive line, or I don't know whether it's a style or a system or just playing the way that he wants you guys to play. What's different about Pat Meyer and the way that he coaches the offensive line?
Pat Meyer is a really detailed person. So the attention to details is the most important thing. And as far as from a technical standpoint, he want your eyes, your feet, your hands, everything got to be on point. But when it comes to passing, obviously we want to be aggressive, start a fight on the line of scrimmage as far as the quarterback, and just being aggressive with our hands, being aggressive with our sets when we have a chance to, and just setting inside out on guys and just playing smart.
Technically, how different is it between multiple coaches? Like, do they have different ways that they want you to use your hands, like different offensive line coaches?
Yeah, some coaches want you to, kick back vertical. Some coaches want you to keep your hips square to the line of scrimmage, punch with both hands and things of that nature.
All right, guys, we're going to let John go. John, we appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for availability today. Thanks for joining.